When you think of the CIA, you picture spies and secret missions. But the real story is far darker. Behind Langley's closed doors, the agency ran experiments that shattered every moral and legal boundary. They didn't just cross the line, they erased it. The CIA secretly dosed citizens with LSD, tried to create mind-controlled assassins, and operated with zero oversight. Officially, these programs were shut down, but most evidence was destroyed, and the full truth remains hidden. This isn't just about espionage, it's about unchecked power and the abuse that follows. Today we're exposing 3 of the CIA's most disturbing experiments, stories history tried to bury. These aren't movie monsters, they're real people with government funding and security clearances, so buckle up, what you're about to hear is as real as it is shocking. Let's pull back the curtain. First up, Project MKUltra, the CIA's infamous quest to control the human mind. This wasn't a fringe project, it ran for over 20 years, with the goal of breaking, reprogramming, and controlling people. Fueled by Cold War paranoia, the agency believed enemies had mind control tech and they had to catch up, at any cost. MKUltra's main weapon, LSD. The CIA thought it could unlock the mind, erase memories, or implant new ones. But they didn't just test on volunteers. They targeted the vulnerable mental patients, prisoners, addicts, people who couldn't fight back. Many were dosed without consent, left terrified and broken. One notorious agent, George Hunter White, set up safe houses, lured men in, and secretly drugged them, then watched from behind a two-way mirror. It was sadistic voyeurism, not science. MKUltra wasn't just about drugs. They tried hypnosis, sensory deprivation, electroshock, and even abuse. Anything to see what would stick. Over 80 institutions were involved, universities, hospitals, prisons, and more. The most tragic case? Frank Olson, a CIA scientist, was secretly dosed with LSD by his own colleagues. He spiraled into paranoia and died after falling from a hotel window. Suicide, or something darker? We may never know. When Congress investigated in the 1970s, the CIA destroyed most MKUltra files. Only a clerical error saved a fraction of the documents. What survived revealed a program with no regard for human life or sanity. The victims were voiceless, their lives shattered in the name of national security. MKUltra left a legacy of distrust, a warning of what happens when power goes unchecked. Did they ever create a mind-controlled assassin or a truth serum? No. The program was a colossal, immoral failure, but the shadow of MKUltra still lingers. With so much evidence destroyed, we'll never know the full extent, and MKUltra was just the beginning. The same people behind these experiments pushed the boundaries even further, in ways that defy belief. Next, we dive into a program that combined drugs, sex, and surveillance in a government-run brothel. The story only gets stranger from here. Enter Operation Midnight Climax, where the CIA's mind control obsession took a sleazy turn. George Hunter White, the same agent from MKUltra, set up CIA-funded brothels in San Francisco and New York. Prostitutes on the agency payroll lured men to these safe houses. The men were secretly dosed with LSD. White watched from behind a two-way mirror, martini in hand, documenting every moment. The goal? See if sex and drugs could make men spill secrets. In reality, it was a twisted, voyeuristic experiment. The victims weren't enemy agents, they were ordinary Americans, drugged and manipulated without consent. The psychological trauma was immense. Many left with terrifying, inexplicable memories. The prostitutes were told to coax information from the men while they tripped, turning intimacy into interrogation. The entire operation was criminal assault, kidnapping, and a total violation of civil rights. And what did the CIA learn? Nothing useful. The project was a failure, just more ruined lives. Midnight Climax ran for over a decade, shut down only when a new inspector general was horrified by what he found. No one was punished. The victims never knew the truth. The story only came out years later during congressional hearings. Operation Midnight Climax is a case study in unchecked power, the abuse of the vulnerable, the lack of oversight, and the willingness to do anything in the name of security. But the CIA's ambitions didn't stop there. Their next project aimed to create the ultimate weapon, a human program to kill on command, and forget it ever happened. Project Artichoke, where the CIA tried to create real-life Manchurian candidates. The goal: program a person to kill on command, then erase their memory of the act. Artichoke's methods were brutal: hypnosis, forced drug addiction, sensory deprivation, and electroshock. They experimented on their own agents, foreign prisoners, and expendable people, identities still unknown. One chilling memo asked, Can we control someone so completely that they'll kill, even against their own survival instinct? In one experiment, a hypnotist programmed his secretary with alternate personalities and violent triggers, using her as a lab rat. The risks were enormous, but the agency didn't care. Artichoke was about stripping away humanity, turning people into tools. Most records were destroyed or redacted, so we only glimpsed the horror. Did they succeed? We don't know. The program was eventually folded into MK Ultra, but the obsession with mind control continued. Artichoke shows how far fear and secrecy can push a government into a moral abyss. These weren't rogue agents. This was official policy, funded and approved at the highest levels. The legacy, a chilling reminder of what's possible when no one is watching. MK Ultra, Midnight Climax, Artichoke. Together they reveal a pattern escalating obsession, dehumanization, and secrecy. And they force us to ask, what else don't we know? MK Ultra, Operation Midnight Climax, Project Artichoke. 3 programs, 1 horrifying truth. The CIA's willingness to sacrifice human rights for power. These weren't isolated incidents. They were systemic, calculated, and criminal. Most records were destroyed. The full truth is buried. The architects faced no justice. The victims, mostly nameless, never saw accountability. If this is what we know, what else was hidden? These stories are a warning. Unchecked power breeds abuse. If you want more hidden history and disturbing truths, hit subscribe, stay curious, and always question the official story.